Following your dreams is a lonely, solitary, scary, dangerous pursuit. You can't wait for somebody to think you can do it. And you got to be willing to risk everything to become that seed of what you believe is in there. You got to be fearless. You got to be relentless.
And sometimes going at it alone. All the time going at it alone. Because no one's going to believe it.
Most people will not understand your obsession, your drive, and your determination. Success is a lonely journey. That's just a reality. And most people are not going to understand why you're so driven, why you're so obsessed. And if you try and make them understand, you're going to end up frustrated. The best advice I can tell you is go on the journey by yourself.
You have to go dark. What I mean by that is you have to be quiet in your mind. Get away from people. We love being around people. We love talking. We love parties. We love all that shit. It's okay to be alone. It's also okay to be unhappy. It's okay to be unhappy sometimes, man.
You don't have forever. You don't. You gotta go for it. You got to get what you are come to get now. And you can't waste time. And this is the thing, everybody has determined certain people that already won. Like, I won life, you won. You know, people say, hey, won the internet, whatever. It ain't never over it. It's never how you start. It's how you finish.
And you just gotta master whatever it is you're doing. Take a few losses that come with the game. As long as you finish on top, that's the only thing that counts.
75 years. That's how much time you get if you're lucky. 75 years, 75 winters, 75 springtimes, 75 summers, and 75 autumns. When you look at it like that, it's not a lot of time, is don't waste them. Get your head out of the rat race and forget about the superficial things that preoccupy your existence and get back to what's important now. Right now, this very second. And I'm not saying drop everything and let the world come to a grinding halt. I'm saying that you can become a seeker. You can be loving more. You can be taking some chances. You can be living more. You can be spending more time with your family. You can be getting in touch with the part of you that lives instead of fears, the part of you that loves instead of hates.
I missed out so many parties and I used to think, oh my god, that's the party of the year. But then as you grow up, you realize there's a party every other day. But there's these opportunities for you to reach your goal. They don't come every day.
There was no outsiders. It was isolation. It was visualization. It was motivation, and it was dedication. There was nothing else going on in my life, you know what I mean? To get to the pinnacle, it needs to be like that. It needs to be no outsiders. It needs to be, you need to have your team and your focus, and that's it. I don't need friends that aren't involved in this game.
Fuck clubs, fuck partying, fuck trying to fit in and socialize, rub elbows with everybody so people can stop calling you weird. Why are you so antisocial? Because I'm trying to get it. Let me tell you something, homie. These women ain't going nowhere. These clubs, these parties, all this shit ain't going nowhere.
With all due respect to everyone, fuck everyone. I'm just here from my own self. This is something in me that I'm just itching to get.
I mean, just sitting around dreaming someday, you know, I mean, someday I'm going to get a different job. Someday I'm going to change this. Well, someday ain't a day of the week.
I have led a toothless life. I have never bitten into anything. I was waiting. I was reserving myself for later on, and I have just noticed that my teeth have gone.
A lot of people wait for perfect conditions to start, but don't realize that starting is the perfect condition. He's saving himself to use his teeth, but he could have had all of his teeth at the end if he had been using them the whole time. And so we have this idea, I call it the fallacy of the perfect pick, but thinking that you're going to have this one shot, this one pick of this one opportunity that's going to take you all the way, but it's the habit of biting that takes you all the way, not where you choose to bite the first time.
How many times have you looked back on your life and thought, I wish I had started something sooner. I wish I had done this thing. I wish I had done that thing. I'm going to tell you something. The biggest regret that you will ever have in your entire life is that you didn't push through the fear. You didn't push through the bullshit imposter syndrome. You didn't push through the self-doubt and get started.
So what I tell myself is I go back to the months and years of preparation to get to that day. And I'm telling myself, the 3:30 in the morning, and I'm looking at my shoes, and I want to go out there and run 30 miles. I have to, in that second, in that moment of this self-talk, my mind saying, you gotta find more, you gotta find more. I once again calm down, go back into my mind, and I have to reflect back on the shit I did to get here.
You have to be cognizant, you have to be aware of how you are being influenced. Because in this day and age, right now, if you aren't careful, you can slide down the path of least resistance, the path path to weakness.
If you can't control your own brain and your brain controls you, you're fucked.
It's all in your mind. Whatever you hold in your mind will tend to occur in your life. If you continue to believe as you have always believed, you will continue to act as you have always acted. You will continue to get what you have always gotten. All you have to do is change your mind.
Hate has 4 letters, but so does love. Enemies has 7 letters, but so does friends. Lying has 5 letters, but so does truth. Failure has 7 letters, but so does success. Cry has 3 letters, but so does joy. And negativity has 10 letters, but so does positivity. You always have a choice, so choose the better side of it.
But failure has made me who I am today. Failure gives you 2 choices. You stay down or you get up. Well, I'm up and I am fired up because I have figured it out.
Truly understand who you are. Learn yourself.
Yeah.
Learn yourself. Learn your pros and your cons. Get your flaws. Get them out the way, but with you, not to nobody else. This is a you and you thing. Of the shit that you know you need to work on. I'm telling you, people, when you really look yourself in the mirror and you start to pick yourself apart by yourself, there's only room for improvement.
When you're in the fucking game, great things happen and really bad things happen. And you gotta take it all in stride. And you gotta pick yourself up the next day, strap your fucking shoes back on and get out there and go to fucking war again. Every day when you get out of bed, life's standing right there to kick you in the fucking face, man.
Success in fighting in life is about desire and the will. How bad do you want it? Is it worth dying for?
You don't have a fucking choice. You have to get up every single day and you have to plant the motherfucking seeds. And planting the seeds has to happen every day, and it has to happen every day for years on end before it really produces fruit. It ain't easy. It ain't always fun. It is a lot of fun sometimes, but it ain't always fun. It's stressful. It's hard. It's anxiety. It's scared. And you have to use all those emotions to push yourself forward. You have to say, bro, if I don't do this, it ain't gonna happen.
You can do 2 things. You can run and fucking hide, curl up in a ball, and let the world just fucking beat you to death. Or you can dig your fucking heels in. You figure out how to, you have to figure out yourself, and then you dig in and you fight. I had a quote installed on my wall. It says, "May God have mercy upon my enemies, because I won't."
You're going to go through this pain. You're going to go through the suffering. How are you going to choose to show up? Like I was talking about before, there are things out of your control. What's in your control? How can you take that power back into your own hands? And what are you going to take from it? What kind of meaning can you find from taking power out of what you feel powerless in?
Those I can't catch a break guys, get them the fuck away from me. I can't be around those guys. I don't want to hear that shit.
Do you choose to become a victim of complaining and misery and shitty, or do you find meaning in how you show up in the suffering,
Unchosen suffering is going to happen in life. Your parents are going to pass away, loved ones are going to die, your relationships are going to break down, your body is going to fail you, you're going to become ill or sick or destitute. Things are going to happen that you have no control over. And the only way that you can prepare yourself for unchosen suffering is with chosen suffering.
The only way you're ever going to get to the other side of this journey is you have got to suffer to grow. To grow, you must suffer. You will never understand what is wrong with me. And that's why I'm so fucking glad you don't. Because I'm in the right fucking spot. When people don't understand you anymore, you're in that spot of obsession and drive. What if you can't run? Give a fuck. It was never about running. Why do you think I run? It's the worst thing. I hate doing it more than anything. Hence the willpower. People have a hard thing to understand. I hate to run. And what makes me so crazy, people go, well, why do you run if you hate it? What are you talking about? I don't want to take showers and eat either. I hate that too. That's life, man. It wasn't until I changed that mentality that I became somebody. If you want to be great, you want to be the baddest motherfucker ever at what you do, you're going to be misunderstood by everybody. Because you're going to be so fucking obsessed and so driven to get there. That's what it takes.
That's the truth.
It takes every second of your fucking life. Anybody says balance? Yeah, balance is important for a lot of fucking people. It is. But if you want to fucking go to that edge where people do not like you, don't understand you, question everything you fucking do, you've arrived.
That if I have unbelievable big dreams and big goals, then I have to go through hard times. It's Like hate, the hard times are a requisite for success. And so if you're going through hard times right now, it means that you're on the path to success. And it's not that you're on the wrong path. It's the feeling of being on the right path.
I had big dreams. A lot of us have big dreams, big goals. And when you have goals that are maybe outside your reach, you have to know that getting to that goal, you're gonna have a lot of bad days. When I fail, I can't spend much time in that fail zone. I have to be able to get up and get after the next day just as fast.
I get happier about the harder it is because I know that no one else will follow. And I think if you can shift from this is hard to no one else will be able to do this, then it flips from being this thing that you're like, oh, poor me, to oh, poor everyone else who's gonna have to fucking try.
There's no losing, only learning. There's no failure, only opportunities. And there's no problems, only solutions. So to me, what failure is the mother of all success.
Each day you can have your own why. And sometimes the why is the same for days, for weeks, for months, for years. If I ever find myself unable, like I have sad times like everybody else, I'm angry like everybody else, I get frustrated. But when the sadness becomes normal, when I don't have a day where I kick out, when the anger becomes normal, so I ask myself, what the heck is wrong? And a lot of times I lose track of my why. Why am I even doing this?
Work on your list of whys. One of the big thrusts for success is to come up with a strong enough why. If the why is powerful, the how is easy.
If you're not constantly performing without purpose, you're not going to be ready when the time comes. It's this magical thing, purpose, that we're all looking for. But what's funny about it all is that we need these things to perform. But we don't take a second to realize the purpose is always there. The purpose never leaves us because the very purpose is you. You are always the purpose.
Well, let me tell you, I love haters, to be honest with you. I show them nothing but love, and they're the gasoline to the fire, to be honest with you. If you're not getting hated on, you ain't doing shit right. You need people talking about you. You need people saying, I don't like that person. Because in turn, they really want to be you.
Let the laughs, the mockery, the comments, the jokes that they cracking on the text chain, whatever it is they're doing, let that be the fuel to remind you that what God is doing, people are laughing, and they're laughing because they're noticing.
Success is the only revenge. As you expand, they shrink into irrelevance. As you get louder, no one can hear them. You don't beat them, you cast a shadow so big, no one can see them to begin with. When people copy, they copy the wrong stuff because they don't know why it worked to begin with. And when it breaks, they don't know how to fix it because they didn't build it. So don't sweat it. Copycats will always be behind.
He was like, the only thing that you can do is win so big that all of them constantly compare themselves to you. And then you'll forget they exist. And that's when he said, success is the only revenge. He's like, it's not the best revenge. He's like, it's the only one. There's no other revenge.
You just gotta grind.
Do it, and do it, and do it, and do it. That's the hack. The hack is gonna fucking suck.
I feel like this next generation is coming up, and I don't mean to smash all of them, but they seem like a bunch of pussies to me. Because of that, there's never been more opportunity than there is right now. If you're a fucking savage and you get out there and you grind hard and you want it bad enough, you can run all these guys over, man.
To be successful at anything, the truth is you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts.
I woke up like every human being does and goes, fuck, man, I'm a fucking piece of shit today. How the hell is this gonna work out for me? And you fight that.
If you quit now, you're gonna fucking be a loser your entire life. That's it. We don't get what we always want. And to get what we always want, we have to be so much better that it's unquestionable.
You don't start things and not finish them. You don't quit. There's nothing that comes out of quitting besides knowing that you didn't finish. We finish everything. You start it, finish it. If you're gonna do it to try and be the best.
I think the easiest thing in life is to give up on whatever you're focused on or whatever you're hopeful for. The hardest thing is to continue to keep going, but we have to continue to hold on. And I would imagine for so many people out there, that is probably the most difficult thing.
Never, ever quit. Never quit. I will never quit, because if you quit, you're done. You may still be alive walking around on this earth. You're done.
If you give up on your dreams, what do you have left? Nothing. I can't live that way. I have to live on the edge.
What would you do if you weren't afraid?
Whatever's in front of you isn't as big as you make it out to be. We start to make these very small things enormous because we allow our minds to take control and go away from us. We have to regain control of our mind. Most situations in life aren't that big. And if they are that big, usually we can find the strength to handle them just through having the right mental process.
That once you take that first step, you've looked the beast in the face and you'll start progressing, not linearly, but exponentially in speed. So what's cool is that it doesn't really matter how small that first step is.
Fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. And so it looks like this ocean that you're going to step into and drown. But as soon as you step into it, you realize it was not that deep at all, and you can keep walking through it. And I just love that visual, because a lot of times when it's like we have this anxiety around this big decision we have to make, if you actually take the step and realize that it's not death, you're not going to drown immediately. There's plenty of other steps you can take from there, even if you get a little wet.
Failure sucks. So like combine that with patience. Like that suck. Are you willing to do that for 20 years?
From mistakes, you learn. It's simple. You don't do mistakes, you don't learn. And when you're failing or when like negative things happen, you learn more than from success and good things happen.
I think failure is like the greatest gift. I think failure is like, it hurts so bad, but failure is like, is a part of life. And if you're not willing to accept that, like failure is part of it, you've got to keep failing.
Failure is the ultimate thing, man. I failed so many times before. That's why I don't look at failure anymore as failure. I look at it as my first, second, and third attempt.
I think you've got to do mistakes in order to learn from them and to become the person that you are then 20 years after. Otherwise So yeah, I think every mistake, as I said earlier, I always tend to think that it's a positive thing because you grow from them.
So I was just failing. I kept failing and kept failing and kept failing. So I had to teach myself how to fail right. Along the way, failure is going to happen. So how fast do you get up from that?
Look in the mirror, motherfucker, it's you versus you.
When you go to war with yourself, you find a lot of peace because you know exactly who you are.
You're not in competition with anybody but yourself.
It's you against you. You against you. And if you misunderstand that, you have a real problem. The problem is you, and you don't want to fix it.
I got this story about Winston Churchill. So Churchill is showing a young MP around the Houses of Parliament. Gets down into the House of Lords, and you've got the benches. You know, the distance between the two benches is the distance of two broadswords held out at arm's length for precisely the reason that they all want to do it. And anyway, this young guy who's probably full of himself and full of testosterone comes in and he starts gesturing at the other side, the other benches, and starts referring to them as the enemy. Churchill turns to him and he says, "That's the opposition, dear boy. The enemy's behind you." This isn't literally what he meant, but figuratively, I think what he means is that your own worst enemy is always the one that is playing on your team. Seeing yourself as both your greatest potential fan and supporter and also your worst potential enemy.
I'm unbeaten. I can't be beaten. It's impossible. You condemn me. You can damage me. You're never ever going to beat me.
Always stick to what makes you weird, odd, strange, different. That's your source of power, which is similar to occupy your niche. Embrace your strangeness, identify what makes you different, fuse those things together and become an anomaly.
Fuck trying to fit in and socialize, rub elbows with everybody so people can stop calling you weird. Why are you so antisocial? Because I'm trying to get it. The more weird you are is a reflection of how committed you are to focusing on your shit, molding and shaping and developing your ideas and your craft so that when it's time for you to make your rounds, you gon' fly.
Quit letting people tell you the route to success when clearly God created you to be different. Just go that route. You get paid to be different. People pay you to be different. Weird people make money. Regular people don't make money.
Normal people get normal results. Weird people get weird results. You literally can't do what everyone else does and not expect to get what everyone else has. By doing what everyone else does, you guarantee average results.
So what got me through horrible times was the dark side. My name is David Goggins. I created Goggins. So I just got through working out, and this guy goes, "Hey Goggins, you on that winter arc shit?" I'm like, what the fuck is winter arc? I go, "Motherfucker, I'm on that 365 shit." It's not an arc. It's a fucking circle. I've been on it for like 30 fucking years. It's a circle that keeps going around and round and round. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Fuck the arc. Do a circle. Stay hard. We like to put the headphones on, like before the big game and listen to the music.
Yeah.
What the fuck did you do when the headphones come off, bro? It's you in your own mind.
Right.
I know how to do that. All right, everybody, you see me smiling? Why? Because it kind of sucks out here in New York City. And I'm extremely ecstatic right now. Pain is just a feeling. You see it's happiness? Why? Because it sucks. That's why I'm so happy right now. Merry Christmas. I got to mile 81. They said, you're not going to make the time. I had 24 hours and I was going so slow, taking so much time. This is when I realized that the human mind, once everything gets connected, once the mind knows you're not going to quit something, it's going to try to find more. One day that thing's going to come up. And if you're not constantly performing without purpose, you're not going to be ready when the time comes. I chose this world to be a warrior. And I would choose it again if I came back to this world. The mentality of a warrior is very different than your normal mentality. You must be that person on that door, get ready to open it, thinking to yourself, if I die, so be it. My first question was, okay, what are you going to give up? What are you going to sacrifice? What are you willing to forgo? Because a lot of people, like this guy came in one time, I was a trainer. He goes, man, I can stop doing anything but my frappuccinos. I go, fucking leave. It's hard for people to understand how I lost 106 pounds in less than 3 months. I sat down at the table and I said to myself, what are you willing to give up? Everything.